The Dallas Cowboys trying to stay out in front of the Philadelphia Eagles in the NFC East, and the Giants trying to join the conversation as to who will win the division. Felix Jones on the return for the Dallas Cowboys. Started from inside the 5 and can't make the 20. Tollefson eventually made the stop after a 14-yard return. Derek Hagan was the first one there, and here comes the offense for the Dallas Cowboys, led out there by Tony Romo, and a group that overall is ranked 4th in the NFL, and an offensive line with Doug Free making his 3rd consecutive NFL start at right tackle.
And Doug Free has actually played pretty well since filling in there for Mark Colombo. He's going to have his hands full here today when you consider the fact that he's got Justin Tuck and O.C. Umenyiora and, of course, Mathias Kiwanuka. Knowing the Giants have had problems getting pressure on the quarterback, that's one area they'd like to be able to try to expose.
Starting at their own 18-yard line are the Cowboys, and starting with the throw from Romo to the sideline and incomplete. O.C. Umenyiora does not make the start here today. Replaced by Kiwanuka. It's 2nd down and 10, and Barber goes nowhere. A loss of 2. O.C. Umenyiora back on the field, out there for the first time after starting this one on the bench. Umenyiora can't get there. Pass complete to Witten, and he is brought down right at the marker. C.C. Brown on the tackle for the Giants, and it depends on the spot. And we could have an early measurement. It's the 8-3 Dallas Cowboys. It's the 6-5 New York Giants. I said 6 of 7 they had lost in our opening on camera. 5 of 6 after that 5-0 start. And right now behind the Philadelphia Eagles, as both teams trail Dallas, and here's the measurement to see if it's a first down on the catch by Witten. And it is.
You mentioned O.C. Umenyiora did not start the ball game, but he came in here on this 3rd down, and Flozell Adams does a pretty good job against him. O.C. trying to come underneath with Tony Romo sliding back to his left, and Jason Witten started in the backfield. They were going to block it up in case the Giants brought pressure, and they did a nice job in the secondary in terms of covering the wide receivers. But Romo able to come underneath on the check down and get just enough for that first down.
And on first down, pass is complete. That's Witten again. A gain of 7 as Jason Witten is stood up at the 35-yard line. Now we look at the defense overall, 4th ranked. They've given up a lot of points. And you look at the group up front, the 2 changes. Kiwanuka made the start at end, and Chris Canty started at defensive tackle in place of Fred Robbins.
And I think when you look at this New York team, as inconsistent as the entire team has been, I think it's the defensive play, specifically the front 4, which has been probably the most disturbing, the way that they've played, especially here in recent games.
Delayed handoff to Barber. He's got a first down, crosses the 40, and he's knocked down at the 43 by Aaron Rouse, a gain of 8.
Well, you go back to the last time these 2 teams met in week 2. And the Dallas Cowboys ran the ball for over 250 yards in that game. And they come into this game today not expecting to run it as well as they did. But as Wade Phillips said, we still believe with our offensive line that we can have success with 3 good running backs against this defense.
And that group at running back getting healthy as the season wears on. And that includes Felix Jones, who's in the lineup. Throw to Phillips. Backup tight end from Tony Romo on first down, a gain of 8. This is a Dallas offense that's number 2 coming into the day on first down with over 6.5 yards. And that one was good for 8 yards to John Phillips. Meanwhile, Tom Coughlin is wondering how his team will respond here this afternoon as they are faced with a game they have to win. A poor showing on Thanksgiving in Denver. second down, it's Barber. And Barber has enough for a first down as he gained 3. Aaron Rouse on the tackle for the Giants.
That's a formation that Dallas just came out with. It's their 22 personnel, which is 2 backs and 2 tight end. And they have run the ball very well all season out of that formation. They're very heavy running the football from that personnel group. And Jason Garrett the other day in talking with him said, we like that. We want to show some tendencies. We want the defense to think every time we get into that set, that's what we're thinking about doing, and then coming with a little change-up. So I would expect something at some point in this game out of 2 backs, 2 tight ends with a pass.
Here is a screen for Felix Jones. And Jones is inside the 41. Fake the handoff to Barber, and the pass is to Bennett. Bennett lost his helmet, and Martellus picked up 3.
I think this is a real big third down for it being so early in the ball game. The Giants want to be physical in this ball game, and I think if they're able to make a stop here, it'll certainly go a long way in giving them some confidence throughout the remainder of this game.
Romo throws, and it's dropped. Martellus Bennett had it, lost it. It's 4th down. And the punt team comes on the field for the Cowboys.
And this is what they were unable to do in the Week 2 game. They were unable to get any kind of pressure on Tony Romo, but Tuck takes an inside release. He forces Romo to unload it a little earlier than what he wanted, but Martellus Bennett hits him right in the hands. And you know, he has had a number of drops in this game. He catches that ball, or not in this game, but this season. But if he catches that ball, it's a first down.
Instead, it's McBriar to punt, with Hickson waiting for it, and a fair catch outside the 10. Starting at their 12, Manning hands to Jacobs, and Brandon Jacobs picks up 3. This is an offense that, believe it or not, is wondering if they can run the football. This was the top rated run game last year in 2008. They started out very well, games 1 through 5 this season, averaging 160 rush yards per game, but last 6 games under 100. Second down and 7. Jacobs again. Headed north, and he's brought down just short of first down yardage by Alan Ball. And they're already giving a first down. Bill Levy looks short of our line, but no measurement even, and it's a first down carry for Brandon Jacobs. And we look at this defense for Dallas.
Well, I like what I just saw there from Brandon Jacobs, but also the fullback Madison Hedgecock. He came through the line, did a good job clearing it out, and we saw some physicalness there from Brandon Jacobs. Of course, he came out this week and said he just flat out doesn't like the Dallas Cowboys.
Jacobs again, 3 straight carries, gets to the edge. Not much out there as Jenkins came up and made the stop, a gain of 3.
I think when you look at New York's running game and some of the struggles that they've had, first and foremost, it's hard to imagine that this team has been as inconsistent running the football as they have been, considering how good they've been in recent years. And you know, but when they start running laterally like that with Brandon Jacobs, now he has made some plays, he's got speed, he's been able to get on the edge at times, but generally speaking, when he's running with his shoulders parallel to the line of scrimmage, that is not good for this Giants running attack.
Second down and 7. Manning throws, and incomplete from Manningham. Was looking for a flag and won't get it. Coverage by Jenkins.
Well, Eli was a little bit short on that throw. This is tough on a defensive back. Mario Manningham's going to try to come back and make a play, and it was a tough catch for him to try to make. I didn't really see much there in terms of pass interference, but Mario Manningham, as well as Steve Smith, had career days against this Dallas secondary in week 2.
Each with 10 catches, each well over 100 yards, and each with a touchdown. It's 3rd and 7. Manning throws, wide open is Steve Smith. And the top receiver for the Giants gets 16 yards and a New York first down.
Well, good design there by New York. They got Steve Smith, who comes up, and the way that they do the switch release there, it confuses Dallas in coverage, and it leaves Steve Smith wide open over the middle of the field. You know, he has been, since he came in as a rookie, so good in the slot position, but I think he's exceptional. I mean, he has far surpassed the year that I thought he would be able to have as basically the featured guy.
And he's the top third down receiver in the NFL. Manning throws on the run and throws short for Steve Smith.
Yeah, that's a ball that Eli Manning knows that he's just got to be able to complete. He's out there with a clean look at it with no pressure and just one-hopped it. And I think there's a tendency right now, because of what he's dealing with his foot, to maybe say, well, that's affecting him. But, you know, in talking with him, he says that once he gets out onto the field on game day, he feels fine. He's not missed any practice with it. I know it's uncomfortable during the week, but I don't know that it's really impacting his play.
Second down and 10. Jacobs carries it. Ball comes out. Manning is there to cover up at the 40. Spencer knocked it out as Jacobs, who has not fumbled or hadn't up until that moment, put it on the ground, and Eli Manning by himself was there to fall on top of it.
That was a good job by Eli Manning falling on it. You see in the middle how it was pulled out right there with Spencer, but a ball bouncing like that, I know as a quarterback and trying to recover that, I mean, it could bounce anywhere at that moment, but Eli Manning does a good job falling on it and not giving Dallas a short field.
Talked about the foot for Eli Manning. It was treated for a stress reaction in that right foot, which was a result of dealing with plantar fasciitis at right heel, an injury that he suffered October 4th in Kansas City. You compensate for the pain in the heel, and you end up affecting other parts of the foot as Snee has to check out. And it's third down and 12. Ware coming off the edge, doesn't get there, and the pass broken up by Jenkins for Manningham.
Well, they were man across the board, safety high, but everywhere else just locked up man to man. Mike Jenkins has been playing exceptionally well. You're going to see him undercut this one, and he's playing the comeback the entire way. If Eli Manning had made a good throw on that where you'd want it, it would have been intercepted and returned for a touchdown. Fortunately, the ball was high. Eli probably anticipated that Jenkins was sitting on the route. Looks like you're going to have to come back and run some type of double move on him, because Manningham should not be allowed to have a defender sit on him with his speed.
Fiegels punts it. Creighton stays away, and Fiegels will see it down at the 12. Second possession for Dallas. Delayed handoff to Barber. Nowhere to go. Forced out by Thomas. First guy there was Cofield, a gain of just 2.
Well, there's no doubt that the Giants are going to overload against the run and feel that they're going to have to be able to do that because of the way that Dallas ran the ball, not only in week 2, but they've run the ball well against virtually every team that they have played. And for them, the number one thing that they have to do is stop the run and try to put the ball then into the hands of Tony Romo.
That hasn't been a bad thing for Dallas, as Romo 13 touchdowns, just 4 interceptions his last 9 games as he completes to Roy Williams. Gain of 5. Third and relatively short coming up as Boley made the play for the Giants.
Well, already we're seeing New York trying to bring a little more pressure. Neither one of these quarterbacks were sacked the last time they played, which is kind of surprising considering both teams pride themselves on getting after the quarterback. But Tony Romo was rarely even hit. At least in this game, in this first quarter, we're seeing him under a little bit of pressure.
Umanura basically a third down pass rush specialist here in the first quarter. 3rd and 3. Pass is complete, and that's a first down to Witten. Second third down catch for a first down for Jason Witten as he got 5.
Well, in this situation, you cannot just let Jason Witten come off the ball without anybody getting a hand on him. And all he does is come off the line of scrimmage, turn around. Tony Romo puts it right on him like he does 1,000 times each week in practice. And everyone knows that in those situations on third down, Witten is the guy that he's looking for. And the teams that have had success against him are the teams that will bang him off the line of scrimmage. You give him a free release, you're going to be in trouble.
Here is Barber. Barber over the right side gets 3. You saw the stat. Jason Witten is now second on the all-time Cowboy franchise list for receptions. Michael Irvin, your teammate, with 750. Witten now with 491. 2 more catches than Drew Pearson, who's now in 3rd place.
You know, Jason Witten has had a solid year. What he had not had were the big plays that people had gotten used to seeing from him until last week or last Thanksgiving against Oakland. Had a huge day against them.
First 100-yard day of the year. It's 2nd and 8. Romo steps up, throws short of Miles Austin. And then kicking it back down the field as the Cowboys won a flag was Aaron Ross. No penalty flag is thrown. It's 3rd and 8. And Justin Tuck limps off the field. Not only is Umanura back on the field, but Clint Sintum, a 2nd-round pick and a rookie, number 97, is on the field for the Giants. Will play more today than he has in the first 11 games. On 3rd down, Romo lays down. Aaron Rouse in there to tap him, a loss of 6. It's 4th down.
Well, Bill Sheridan want to give a little different look. He's got Matthias Kiwanuka off the ball in a linebacker type position. You see him right here, 94, and then he's going to hit it on the run. And then off of that, you've got Aaron Rouse, who's going to come right up the middle. Initially, he tried to show that he was going to be in coverage. They tried to get him late with Andre Girard, the center. Well-designed defensive scheme and well executed there by the Giants.
So McBriar with another punt. He's had a very good year. Able to let this one out, and Hickson from inside the 30 gets to the 35, ducks his head, and he's out to the 38. Starting at their own 38, handoff is to Jacobs. Jacobs gets 1.
They had Marcus Spears collapsing there on the back side of it. On the front side, do a good job in moving out a little bit of a lane, but didn't get the backside blocked up. And that's kind of been the story for this New York Giants running game. I mean, everybody wants to know, why is it we're not running the football well? Most people are wanting to point at Brandon Jacobs, but you know, he hasn't run as well as I've seen him in other years, but there are a lot of other issues, and it seems that there's always one guy just not making his block.
Cowboys were confused defensively.
That's their first charge, timeout. 30 seconds.
And so they have to take a timeout. Handoff is to Jacobs. A nice run on 2nd down as Jacobs is out to the 45-yard line. Ware there to make the tackle for Dallas. 3rd down coming up.
Yeah, I spoke earlier about not seeing Brandon Jacobs do some of the things that I was used to seeing him do. You're going to see him here, but once he catches the hole, I mean, he's off and running. And this is where he was so good in the past. I mean, he starts the stretch play, and then as soon as a hole opens up, he had the quickness and the burst to get into that hole. It was a nice job there by Brandon Jacobs.
It's 3rd down and 3. Manning throws. Pass was tipped and off the hands of Steve Smith. First guy who got his hands on it was Sensabaugh, the starting strong safety for Dallas. Off him, off Smith. It's 4th down.
I'll tell you, that was pretty good range there by Gerald Sensabaugh. I mean, he was running right underneath that throw, and he came from the middle of the field to get there. And Steve Smith still almost able to make the catch, but good job there by Sensabaugh on the range.
Now the Cowboys have to take another timeout, this time on special teams. And Wade Phillips was hot, having to spend the 2nd timeout as the punt return team wasn't ready. Meanwhile, Jeff Fiegels, who's in his 22nd year with the first punt in this game, has now accumulated enough punt yardage to cover 40 miles. 1,650 regular season punts. This will be 1,651 as he plays in his 348th game. Most in NFL history.
You know, and Jeff Fiegels had struggled a little bit. That's something that we're not used to seeing from him, but he went through a period this year where he was not punting as well as what he has done in recent seasons, and he's gotten some of it back though here as of late.
See the 344 consecutive games for Fiegels, which is the record as Patrick Creighton hauls in a fair catch with under a minute to go in this opening quarter at Giant Stadium. The Cowboys in the quote-unquote Romo era the last 3 years are 5-10 once December starts into January, including 2 playoff losses, and in particular Romo, 16 touchdowns, 20 interceptions, a quarterback rating of 72.4 compared to over 102 in his career between September and November. He's tired of hearing about it, and so are the Cowboys, as Austin gets his first catch of the day. Here's a handoff to Felix Jones. A gain of 1. Aaron Rouse has been busy here in this first quarter. Sticks his nose in there and makes the play. And as we wind down this first quarter, it looks like the Saints are marching their way to a 12-0 start to match what the Colts have done in the AFC. That's it for the first quarter here at Giant Stadium. We begin the second quarter here at Giant Stadium, and it's 3rd down and short, 3rd down and a yard for Dallas. Not only are there changes up front, we talked about Clint Sintum, a rookie, getting more action at strong side linebacker, and Jonathan Goff getting his first NFL start at middle linebacker for New York. Here's Barber, and Barber has a first down out to the 35. A gain of 6 on 3rd and 1, and it's Sintum making the stop for the Giants.
This is really Dallas's bread and butter play. They call it the power play, power left this time, and you've got Leonard Davis there, the right guard, who's going to pull, and you've got Deion Anderson at fullback, and they have a chance at the backfield on Marion Barber, but that's a tough play right there for most defenses to be able to defend when you've got a big pulling guard clearing the way, and then in behind that a lead fullback.
That was Goff, the middle linebacker, getting his first start, that missed the initial tackle. Romo throws into the air and into the hands of Witten. Great coverage, and somehow Witten comes down with the deflection off the hands of Bruce Johnson. A gain of 32.
And the Giants are in a perfect position here to make the interception. I mean, he throws into coverage. You've got an underneath defender there in Johnson, and if he goes up and is able to make the interception, he does not. Instead, it's deflected, and Jason Witten sticks with it. But as soon as the ball was coming out of Romo's hands, I thought that was going to be going the other way, as did the Giants.
Witten now 4 catches, 55 yards, a toss to Felix Jones running right, and Jones can't get back to the line of scrimmage. Let's go back to the end of that play. I mean, you talk about perfect and blanket coverage on Jason Witten, and yet he comes down with the football.
Well, and I think that's been what's frustrating for this New York team, because they had called the perfect coverage. It was a cover 2, so Johnson had safety help over the top, and he played it perfectly. And you know, you can get in the position to make a play, but you got to make the play once you're there.
Penalty flag on the play. Could be a free play as Romo throws and skips it into Austin. Looked like Kiwanuka may have come across early.
You know, Andre Gerard, Tony kept playing, and Andre Gerard's the center who snapped it. He just started walking towards the official trying to point it out, but I think this may be called against Dallas.
There were fouls against both teams. Illegal formation offense. Right tackle was not on the line of scrimmage. Offside, number 94 defense. Penalties offset. Replay, first down.
That's Bill Levy. That's the first flag of the afternoon, evening, and it's 2nd and 10. So far, it's been Dallas controlling the football, but nothing on the scoreboard for either team. On 2nd down and 10, Romo with protection throws for Witten. He's been busy. And Jason Witten has a first down at the Giants 21, a 12-yard completion in front of CC Brown.
Well, this is the time I was talking about. They go 2 backs, 2 tight ends, as I said. That's a running personnel package for them. But they come out, they split out Martellus Bennett, and then they get Witten again with a free release off the line of scrimmage. And I just think that you've got to be able to bang him around a little bit, because we've already seen in this game and several other games that you just can't stop this guy in zone coverages with Tony Romo getting the time that he had on that play.
On first down, quick throw, Austin. Ross on the stop. Austin got 6. Miles Austin, who burst onto the NFL landscape with that first start at Kansas City. Happened in October, had a tremendous 3-game stretch. His first 3 starts, 21 catches, 382 yards, 5 touchdowns. Has 2 catches in this game after a big effort against Oakland on Thanksgiving. Second down, and it's Barber who is knocked backward. Cofield, the first one there, and a loss of 5.
Well, they're able to blow up that left side where Marion Barber's trying to get. Cofield knocks him back, and then Aaron Rouse, who's been along the line of scrimmage this entire first half as the extra defender. That's the guy who goes unblocked. He was there then to clean it up. But a great push in the middle there by Cofield.
Rouse already with 7 tackles and a sack. It's 3rd down and 9. Romo steps up, throws, completes. That's Creighton. And Creighton is wrestled down with a first down at the Giants 9. Johnson on the stop, as the Cowboys have been playing inside the red zone where this Giants defense has really struggled.
They're in man coverage, and good execution there by Dallas. Patrick Creighton, once he started out to the outside and then came underneath, he creates space simply because of the route on Bruce Johnson. But you know, the theme here right now is when they haven't gotten to Tony Romo, he's found open receivers with ease.
10th play of the drive. Cowboys 4 of 6 on 3rd down. And it's 1st and goal. Romo throws. Roy Williams in the end zone, incomplete. Batted away by Webster. An odd start to that play.
Yeah, I was going to say, it looked like there was some confusion there in the backfield. It was a pass all the way based on how the offensive lineman came up in pass protection, but they didn't get the play action look that they were hoping for. And then Romo throws it up, trying to give Roy Williams an opportunity to make a play. And he's trying to catch that one behind his head.
This Giants defense is 31st in the NFL in red zone defense. Here's the Razorback formation, they call it, their version of the Wildcat, and Choice gets 1. It'll be 3rd and goal.
Yeah, their version there, at least, they've got about 4 different plays off of this Razorback. That one was the Razorback with that power play that I showed a little bit earlier with Leonard Davis, the right guard, leading the way, and then Tashard Choice getting in behind that. A lot of big plays last week against Oakland off of that same look.
It's 3rd down and goal. Romo in trouble, and down he goes. That's the rookie Clint Sintum with his first NFL sack.
Well, you're going to see Clint Sintum. He comes unblocked because they bring it here, and they've got to block that up, and then no one picks up Sintum off the edge. And I'm not sure if Romo was expecting that to be blocked up or not. If you see Jason Witten, who was in there at the tight end position, but it was clear that Romo either thought that it was going to be blocked or he never anticipated that Sintum would be coming on the rush.
34-yard try by Folk, who's missed 4 of his last 8 tries overall. And this one is drilled. for the Giants. Hickson carries it back 14 yards. Play action from Eli Manning down the middle of the field for Smith. Newman broke it up.
Well, Steve Smith was locked up one-on-one on Terrence Newman. They had a shot at this one too. They had the perfect coverage. They get over the top then of Allen Ball because of the outside route, and they just were unable to get the ball out far enough. If Eli Manning is able to get this throw out in front and a lot further, they had a chance for a real big play.
That play started with play action, something Tom Coughlin wants to see more of from this offense. Plays called by Kevin Gilbride. 2nd and 10. The setup and throw, and the pass is complete to Manningham, who makes a couple of moves. By the time he stopped very close to first down yardage.
It looked initially like he had it, and then he gave it up a little bit, the first down that is. Well, they're going ahead and giving it to him, but he lost a little yardage when he tried to make a little bit more out of it, getting back outside to the sideline.
With Bill Levy, the referee's got a quick trigger on the first down calls. He's giving it to Manningham.
I like that. It's good to have a quick trigger every now and then.
If you're just joining us, the Dallas Cowboys just watched their place kicker, Nick Folk, hit from 34 yards. It's the first place Dallas Cowboys against the Giants. 6 and 5, and movement up front. A false start.
False start. Number 66 offense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
That's David Deal. It's been the Dallas Cowboys who have controlled the clock and the football. 16 minutes compared to 5.5 for the Giants.
Well, and that's why that stop there for the New York Giants was pretty good. I mean, this is one of the worst defenses in the league in red zone defense. So to be able to hold Dallas to 3 points, a Dallas offense that does a good job putting points on the board, that was a little bit of a victory there for Giants defensively.
On 1st and 15, that's off the hands of Smith. Open, but dropped it. It's 2nd and 15.
And that's the one area for this Giants receiving core where they've had some problems. Steve Smith has dropped some balls. Mario Manningham has dropped some balls. You're going to have some of that on every team, but balls that are as well thrown as what that one was, you just can't have as many of them as what we've had from the New York Giants.
Manning has started 2 for 8 for 26 yards. On 2nd and 15, handoff is to Bradshaw. Lost the football. Ratliff is there, and he ends up with it, although Bradshaw is trying to fight for it. It's Ratliff's football, and it belongs to Dallas.
Ratliff is such a force in the middle. He's right over the nose, and he gets into the backfield, and it was just a poor job there by Ahmad Bradshaw holding the football because he was pretty loose with it. There wasn't really all that much contact by Jay Ratliff when he got his hand on it.
Drive starting at the 26, and it's Marion Barber who picks up 3. Danny Clark in on the stop for the Giants. This was a Dallas offense that came rolling into a game at Green Bay a couple of weeks ago, 3 games ago, averaging over 27 points per game. Then at Green Bay, at home against Washington, scored 14 total points. Better against Oakland on Thanksgiving, 24 points, 494 yards. Trying to build on that, leading by 3. 2nd and 7. Romo to Barber. Barber trying to make a move, can't get around Thomas. Webster there to clean up, a gain of 2.
That's a heck of a job there by Terrell Thomas. That is hard duty right there when you've got Marion Barber in the open field with a 2-way go, and he's able to at least get a leg and then wait for some help by Corey Webster, but not an easy tackle to make.
Third down and 5 for Dallas. Romo looking left all the way, hits Miles Austin, and Austin has a Dallas first down. A gain of 6 on 3rd and 5.
Well, we've seen the Giants now. They get into man coverage because they come off the edge, and actually it was zone coverage. It was a zone dog, but they give a free release then to Miles Austin underneath, and you know, it's pretty simple once he's able to then make the catch when you're talking about short distances that are required to pick up the first down. But I'll go back to what I said a little bit about with Witten. You really have to redirect Miles Austin and Jason Witten coming off the line.
Here's Roy Williams to the 10. Corey Webster to make the stop, a gain of 5. Just to give you the numbers for the Giants defensively in the red zone, 70% of the time when opponents drive it into the red zone, meaning inside the 20, they come away with touchdowns. They've given up more red zone touchdowns than any team in the NFL. They forced a field goal the first time the Cowboys got down here. Now it's 2nd and 5. Barber gets around Canty. Broke a C.C. Brown tackle and picks up 3. Thomas eventually on the stop, and it's 3rd and short.
What we've seen a lot of already in this game from Dallas is that they're believing that their best personnel package, at least early, is 2 tight ends and 2 backs. And that's what they went to there with the power play, and they had an opportunity, the Giants that is, to make a couple plays on Marion Barber, but he showed you why it is that he's so difficult to get to the ground. Just not a lot of things to grab when he's picking up extra yards.
Except hair.
Yeah.
And Razorback formation. On 3rd down and 2, a direct snap to Choice, and he's got a first down. Ball comes out. They're saying the play is alive, and it belongs to the Giants. Terrell Thomas comes away with a football, and it will be interesting to get another look. Jonathan Goff was in there on the stop. And the Giants for now have a takeaway as Choice put it on the ground.
It was right at the end of this play as Choice is going to the ground. I mean, they're able to strip it from him right there.
When we went to commercial break, Wade Phillips threw the red challenge flag out. Now you can take another look as Jonathan Goff starts to rip it out. You can make the case that Choice still has control of the football, and after he's down, it comes out. I wouldn't be surprised. In fact, I expect a reversal on this call, which at the moment is Giants ball at their own 1 and charging Tashard Choice with a fumble. So Dallas is challenging. Meanwhile, on the other side, if they say Choice held on to the football when he was down, it's enough for a first down. So a lot riding on what Bill Levy sees.
After reviewing the play, the runner was down before the ball came loose. First down at the 4-yard line. Dallas will not be charged a timeout.
So Wade Phillips is now 14 of 22 in his career with the Cowboys in challenges. 1 for 1 today, and it's 1st and goal for Dallas instead of 1st and 10 for the Giants with the ball at their own 1.
And no one was happier than Tashard Choice. I think he was thinking that his playing time may have been over if that had not gone in his favor. Guy who stepped in with the injuries to Marion Barber and then Felix Jones and played very, very well. And now that those 2 guys are healthy, he's not getting near as many snaps as he was. And most of the work that he is getting is out of that Razorback set.
So 1st and goal from the 4. With the Cowboys already leading 3-0, trying to turn that fumble by Ahmad Bradshaw into 7 points.
Coming all out blitz here.
They do come. Romo throws end zone. That's Roy Williams for the touchdown. caught it around Corey Webster. And for Tony Romo, touchdown throw number 18 on the year.
I think this is some of the stuff that Dallas was anticipating when they brought Roy Williams in. Not a bad release coming off the line, but once he's able to get to the edge, and then with the height advantage that he has, Romo lays it up. And a nice catch by Roy Williams.
So the Giants defense gives up a red zone touchdown, and it's the Dallas Cowboys capitalizing on the Bradshaw fumble. Getting it into the end zone as Roy Williams has his 5th touchdown catch, and it's 10-0 Dallas. And now David Beeler will kick it away with Hickson waiting for it, and the Giants have to get something going. Hickson from about the 5. On the return out to the 25 and just beyond. A Giants offense that couldn't get anything going on Thanksgiving in Denver. No touchdowns in their last 89 offensive plays, longest streak that's alive in the NFL. First 3 possessions, 15 plays, just 38 yards, 2 punts and a fumble, penalty flags, free play, and the pass is caught by the rookie Hakeem Nicks. Picks up 16 yards. Spencer looked like he came across early. They threw the flag.
Offside. Number 93 defense. Penalties decline. Result of the play. First out.
First down Giants. Thank you, Kurt, from their own 42. Something needs to happen quickly for New York, and a little flip to Kevin Boss. The tight end able to ramble down inside the 45. He is tripped up at the 42. A 16-yard play that was improv from Eli Manning with 2.5 left.
You know, 2 of the real concerns for New York coming into this game was how they were going to slow down DeMarcus Ware and also Jay Ratliff in the middle. They doubled Ratliff in the middle, but DeMarcus got the pressure.
Here's Bradshaw playing with 2 sprained ankles. Nice run on first down. And the Giants, who are inside Dallas territory for the first time today, get a 16-yard run from Ahmad Bradshaw.
Well, this guy right here is about as tough as they come, and after that fumble, I can assure you he's going to be running about as hard as we've ever seen here throughout the rest of this game.
2 minutes left in the half. Giants down by 10, have a first down at the Dallas 26. For this drive, 38 total yards for the Giants offensively. Now 3 straight 16-yard plays. Spencer came across early again. Manning goes to the end zone, and incomplete for Mario Manningham. Jenkins out there in coverage.
Yeah, they got the
Offside. Number 93 defense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
They got another free play. When they had it earlier, they had no receiver running vertically down the field, so they couldn't take a shot. This time they did with Manningham, so Eli, knowing that he had a free play, is able to throw it. But you know, Manningham just kind of loses sight of where he was on the field. Not a bad thrown ball there by Eli. It was just that Manningham had lost sight of where he was and started working out towards that boundary, and then was out of bounds when the ball came in.
So 1st and 5. Manning with a pump fake, throws, and the pass is complete. Touchdown rookie Hakeem Nicks.
Hakeem Nicks, good concentration on his part to be able to make this play. You see the cushion that Terrence Newman's given him. Eli was just a tad bit late on that throw, but once Newman then tried to come and make a play on it rather than make a tackle, and then he gets up there and makes the touchdown. But you know, sometimes that's a difficult catch for a receiver when you've got an arm coming out in front of you, but good concentration there by Nicks.
And it's a 3-point game. It's a 3-point game, 1:46 left in the half. Dallas about to get it back. They have only 1 timeout remaining, and just a 4-play drive to cover 74 yards. 3 straight 16-yard plays got him in position, and then Nicks on the touchdown catch from Eli Manning. Felix Jones on the return. And now Romo from the 35. Umanura came across.
offside, number 72 defense, unabated to the quarterback. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Osi Umenyiora had started every game that he had played in coming into today. Started this game on the bench. Teams have been running at Osi Umenyiora. And we talked about what the Dallas Cowboys did with 251 rushing yards against the Giants in week 2. So Tom Coughlin made the change at the end position. On 1st and 5, handoff is to Barber. Got past Kiwanuka and is brought down just short of a first down as he picked up 4.5 by Justin Tuck.
Well, Tony Romo on that last play, recognizing initially the Giants showed that they were going to be putting an extra defender in there to stop maybe the run, and then they went to a cover 2, and Tony checked out to the running play.
Here is a screen for Barber, and Barber lost the football. There's Umenyiora on the return. Umenyiora tripped up near the 30, and it was Kiwanuka who knocked it out. Well, the Dallas Cowboys turned an Ahmad Bradshaw fumble into 7 points. What will the Marion Barber fumble turn into for the Giants? 3 timeouts remaining for the Giants. This one is Smith, wide open. Inside the 15 to the 13-yard line, first down.
Good protection for Eli Manning, and he's able to step up into the pocket. And well, we've seen it. This is a challenge for this secondary of Dallas if given time to match up man-to-man against the speed of these wide receivers.
Manning underneath. Smith again breaks a tackle, got around Scandrick, and he sets up 1st and goal. An 11-yard catch, and then Smith wouldn't go down easily. Timeout Giants with 29 seconds left in the half.
We'll go back and take a look at the fumble which set this up. Initially Marion Barber was pretty loose with the football, but Kiwanuka comes in and he's just trying to make the tackle. Did not go for the football, but Umenyiora, that's a hustle play on his part. You know, he's running down the ball, hustling, and he's there to make the play when the ball was on the ground. And I talk about the speed, as much the quickness as anything else, of Steve Smith, and then of course the speed of Mario Manningham. And that's just a good play there by Steve Smith, getting as much out of that as he could.
For Umenyiora, that is his 4th opponent's fumble recovery, most in the NFL. And his fumble recovery set it up. Will Beatty checks in as an eligible receiver, 1st and goal from the 2. Manning's in trouble, throws it out of the back of the end zone with Boss underneath it. 23 seconds remaining, 2 timeouts, 2nd and goal.
Eli getting rid of the football, at least stops the clock. They go play action immediately out of their goal line personnel. Takes a pretty good lick there at the end. It looked like initially when the ball was snapped he might have had a chance to the corner of the end zone, but after that everything just broke down. They've still got 2 timeouts, so they don't necessarily have to throw the football.
Jacobs in the backfield. Handoff to Jacobs. Fighting. Touchdown.
Fumble by Marion Barber did what the Cowboys did not want to see happen, and that is give this Giants team some life. They were up 10-0, and now the Giants right back in the middle of this one. And this was a team that was really questioning themselves coming in, but right now, I mean, they have gained a lot of confidence through this first 30 minutes.
Deion Anderson on the return, and Anderson is out to the 36. And for this Dallas Cowboy offense, back to work they go, but 13 seconds remain, only 1 timeout.
You know, it's interesting, Joe, you look at the time of possession in this game. I mean, Dallas has dominated that. It reminds me a little bit of that playoff game a couple of years ago. Dallas dominating the first half in the same way, and yet the score being what it is right now.
Here's a catch by Witten. 9 seconds left. Gain of 6. That takes the ball to the 42. Remember, only one timeout remaining in 9 seconds. So a lot's going to have to happen here in the next 9 seconds for Nick Folk to get into field goal range. His career long 53 yards. That would mean taking it down to the Giants' 35-yard line. 2nd and 4.
I was actually a little surprised that they just didn't come out and run the ball and go in at half, but they're going to see if maybe they can get in position.
Another quick one to Witten, who hops out up near midfield. They're going to mark him out at the 49-yard line. 4 seconds left. And now you're in a spot where you have to heave it and then hope.
Yeah, this will be the last play. So whether they get out of bounds or catch it and try to call timeout, I don't think there's any way that they're going to be able to do that and have time to do anything. So I would expect this then to be the Hail Mary and see if they can get it all the way into the end zone.
Good half for Witten. 7 catches, 81 yards. 4-man rush for the Giants. Instead, it's a quick one to Austin, and he does get out of bounds with 1 second remaining. He's at the 39. This would set a new career long for Folk if he can hit it. A 57-yard try. Will be coming from Nick Folk with the wind swirling. So they took a shot underneath, hopped out of bounds. Austin did with a second left, and now hoping for the best out of Nick Folk.
You know, you usually don't get that clock stopped that quickly when you're the visiting team, but they usually tend to let it run down.
Across the NFL this season, longest field goal that's been hit, 56 yards. Hickson is waiting for it in the end zone. 57-yard try. And the kick is not close, and now Hickson will. They're saying Hickson stepped out, and that's the end of the half. Hickson on the return from the 7. And Hickson, a good effort, is out to the 23. Let's go down to the field and Pam Oliver.
Hey there, Joe. Some of the Giants players were a little excited about that melee to end the half, seeing it as an example of their willingness to fight to save their season. Tom Coughlin very excited about the team's upbeat nature, their emotions, and also just feeling that they just showed the right kind of attitude in that first half. Wade Phillips very disappointed that the Giants drove on them so much to end that half, but as he always does, he says, we'll be all right. Back to you.
All right, Pam, thank you. It's something you talked about, Troy, in our open. But the questions surrounding this Giants team as Brandon Jacobs goes straight ahead. Takes it out just across the 25, picked up 3, and people have questioned the leadership and the heart of this Giants team, and they didn't show up on Thanksgiving in Denver, and they had a little flurry there at the end of the half to take the lead.
And some of those questions are coming within the Giants organization. I mean, it's not just all coming from fans or from the media, and you know, that's surprising considering what this team has accomplished here in recent years. 2 years ago, of course, winning the Super Bowl, but I saw a team change personalities there in that first half.
Manning throws, and Smith makes the catch. Lost his shoe as the tackle was made by Sensabaugh. Gain of 6.
You know, I talked earlier about the problems that Steve Smith can create there in the middle of the field, and if Eli Manning has time to throw the football, you can't cover him. And you talked about it a little bit earlier as far as Wade Phillips saying going into week 2. I mean, we really did not give Steve Smith the credit that he deserved, and he's proven that he's a heck of a player in this league. And so coming into this game, they knew we've got to somehow slow him down, and they really have not been able to do it when Eli Manning has had time.
It's 3rd down and 1. Jacobs over the right side. 1st down, New York. A gain of 3 on 3rd and 1. Ware on the tackle. We're used to seeing a Steve Smith represent the NFC in the Pro Bowl, but it's not this Steve Smith. It's usually the guy down in Carolina who at the start of the day 46 catches, 604 yards, 4 touchdowns, and this Steve Smith is 5th in the NFL at the start of the day with 72 receptions and 6th with 869 yards. Top 3rd down receiver in the NFL as well, and a toss to Jacobs. He didn't take it outside. He took it straight up the field and picked up 4.
Well, I think Tom Coughlin and more importantly Kevin Gilbride have got to be pretty excited, even though that doesn't look like much. They're in a 2-back offense, and they go with the running play right at the teeth of this defense, and they're able to get positive yardage out of this play, and that's something that they've really struggled with. A 4-yard gain there on 1st down. But because they're able to run the ball out of their 2-back sets, it then sets up the play action, which is something that has been missing a lot here out of this offense this year, and that's why Tom Coughlin wants to get back to it.
A blitz from Brooking. Manning gets rid of it and skips it into Steve Smith. Brooking came in like a flash. Brandon Jacobs got enough of him to pick up number 51 for Dallas to give Manning a chance to avoid the sack and get rid of the football. It's 3rd and 6.
Dallas has done a good job this year with the linebackers and being able to get pressure in the middle. Last year, Brady James had 8 sacks from that inside linebacker spot. In fact, Wade Phillips said that was the most sacks that any inside linebacker that he has coached has ever had. Those numbers are down, but Keith Brooking has picked it up a little bit, and they use him a lot.
3rd down and 6. Manning throws, and left wide open is Steve Smith. Another 3rd down catch, and it's a big one. Sensabaugh is there for Dallas and drags him down inside the 25. They'll mark him out at the 25. A 36-yard catch and run.
Well, that's the area they've been exploiting throughout this ball game. Alan Ball is going to be the one that's in coverage. He's playing awfully soft. Eli knew exactly where he was going, and you're going to see the block here on the other end. Mario Manningham comes across here and blocks Terrence Newman, which allows then Steve Smith to be one-on-one on Gerald Sensabaugh. But the Cowboys have just not found an answer yet for covering Steve Smith.
36-yard gain. That's the longest play by either team today. It's 1st down at the 25. There's play action. Spencer coming, and to the end zone. It's Jenkins with the interception for Dallas. In front of Manningham, and a turnover. Well, Mike Jenkins has emerged as the top cornerback for the Dallas Cowboys. Just had his 4th interception of the season. The rest of the team has a total of 4. Cowboys take over at their own 20. 2 Giants turnovers now. Romo throws and hits Miles Austin over the middle. Able somehow to hang on to the football. Was awful loose with it. The tackle by Thomas. A gain of 17.
We'll go back and take a look at the interception, and Mike Jenkins is in a good position, plays it very well. Mario Manningham should have tried to do more to keep that from being intercepted. At that point, he's got to be a defensive back and just try to knock it down. That's the end of the play. You know, the hit that Eli Manning took, and he knows that's one that probably should have just tried throwing that one away. You know, Mike Jenkins has really turned into Dallas's best corner. A lot of acclaim to Terrence Newman, but Mike Jenkins has been playing exceptional.
Whoa! Here is a toss to Felix Jones over the right side. Romo with time, and that ball is batted down. Like Cofield got his hand on it. And it'll be 3rd and 8. Romo throws, and the pass incomplete. Roy Williams looking for a flag, won't get it. Corey Webster on the coverage.
Well, the Giants, they brought pressure. They brought Aaron Ross off the edge, so they were locked up man-to-man in the secondary. And I got to tell you, I think I'd agree with Roy Williams on this one. It looked from here like it was pass interference. Corey Webster got his right arm around the waist there and turned Roy Williams as the ball was arriving.
Happened right in front of the Cowboy bench. They complained, no penalty flag. McBriar hits it. And Hickson from inside the 10. Cannot get to the 15-yard line. Carpenter on the tackle. 14-10 Giants in a game that they need, taking on the first place Dallas Cowboys. Giants 6-5, Dallas 8-3. Giants start at their 13-yard line. Bradshaw, who's fumbled in this game, and a play made by Spencer.
Anthony Spencer, he was off the ball this time, and he just hit it perfectly at the snap. You can see him right there. And he just comes right underneath. Boss is the one who is supposed to be blocking him. And initially, I think Boss thought that he might be in coverage and would be able to come off the ball straight ahead and block. But Anthony Spencer just shot underneath him and made a heck of a play.
So 2nd and 10. Pass off the hands of Bradshaw and then to the turf. It's 3rd and 10.
Yeah, this time Anthony Spencer is on the opposite side, and he's going to give the same look, only this time he's going to come on the blitz underneath. They run a little bit of a twist there with he and Brady James, the other linebacker, and he comes completely free on Eli Manning.
Spencer has been hot of late. He's coming off a 2-sack game against Oakland, which came on the heels of his first interception of the season at home against the Redskins. He's had pressure today. It's 3rd and 10. Underneath this is Boss on a tight end screen, and Kevin Boss is short of a first down by less than a yard. Brooking on the tackle.
Tell you, it looked initially like Kevin Boss got it and was a little bit hesitant at really going after it. You know, if he had gotten the ball and just taken off running, I thought that, you know, he had some room there that he might have been able to pick that one up, but he hesitated just enough, and the Cowboys able to make the stop.
Patrick Creighton, who has returned 2 punts for touchdowns this season, and number 3 in the NFL with a return average of 13.6. Waits for the punt from Jeff Feagles. And Creighton makes the catch, a fair catch. 4-man rush as Romo steps up and hits Witten over the middle. And Witten slides down inside the 40, a gain of 17.
Tony at the end of this play takes a little bit of a hit. They are able to get some pressure on him in this game. They've already sacked him twice. Jason Witten, you know, he's been a little bit to the Giants what Steve Smith has been to the Cowboys. He's been working the middle of the field there and having some success with it. And Justin Tuck and others getting a little pressure on Romo.
8 catches for Witten, 98 yards, working on his 2nd straight 100-yard game as Barber, who has fumbled in this game, picks up 1.
And I think Bill Sheridan's got to be pretty pleased with what he's seen from this defensive front here in this game.
Sintum has a sack for the Giants, as does Aaron Rouse, and that one's off the hands of Barber. 3rd and 9 coming up. Pass is caught by Austin. Now 7 of 11 on 3rd down of the Dallas Cowboys. An 11-yard completion to Miles Austin.
And that's an area where the Giants have been pretty good on defense all year long on 3rd down. There's, you know, pressure again, this time from Matthias Kiwanuka, and Romo throws it and bails out, but they just have not been able to lock up with these receivers, and they run a lot of different combinations. They get into the bunch sets, and it makes it very, very difficult putting the pressure, as offensive coordinator Jason Garrett so much likes to do.
A first down carry by Marion Barber. Play made by Rouse. It's 2nd down and 7 for Dallas. Blitz coming. Romo throws, and the pass is caught by Witten. He is down, but has a first down at the 9-yard line as Jason Witten hung on with another 100-yard receiving day.
Well, they bring the blitz off of Witten here, and then you're going to see that they've got to get over to cover that, and not easy to do. I mean, they run it perfectly. Initially, they come off the ball. Witten does, expecting it, and then he takes off once Goff comes over to get underneath the throw. And good concentration, well executed there by Dallas.
Cowboys are 1 for 2 scoring touchdowns from inside the red zone in this game. 1st and goal from the 9. It's Marion Barber. Lowers his head, takes it to the 5. Let's go back to that catch. I don't know how Jason Witten hung on to the football in traffic.
As you see, Goff's trying to get underneath it, and you know, a ball that he got his hands. I mean, he just got his hands in the wrong position there, trying to make the catch as opposed to fingertips down. But he's made a lot of tough catches, during his career. And we've talked about it before. I think he's the most complete tight end in football. He's an excellent receiver, but he's also a very good blocker, and a better blocker than probably he gets credit for, because he is such a good receiver.
2nd and goal. They fake the toss, throw to Williams. He has his 2nd of the day. And the Cowboys are back on top. They faked the toss to Miles Austin. Romo stood up and found a wide open Roy Williams.
We're going to see what the play action does then to the linebackers, because once they hit it, it opens everything up right in behind them. Webster in man, but he's anticipating the sweep as well. And even he got caught looking inside into the backfield.
Well-designed play by Jason Garrett in this Dallas offense. And now it's the Cowboys up by 3. Hickson on the return from the 7. Upended. Chris Snee, the starting right guard, is on the sidelines as Kevin Booth takes over. This is a Giants offensive line that needs the presence of Snee against Jay Ratliff, a terrific nose tackle of the Dallas Cowboys. We're trying to get word as to what's wrong with Snee. Giants down by 3. Pass is caught. That's Jacobs out of the backfield. How about that? Big Brandon Jacobs stays on his feet. Touchdown.
Well, you mentioned Jay Ratliff. Here he is. They double up inside, so he gets good protection in the middle, but he comes out. You're not expecting a big gain like this, but they catch Anthony Spencer in coverage. And at that time, it was just a foot race, and you'd think that somebody from Dallas would have been able to get over there and knock him out of bounds. But Brandon Jacobs, he was just determined to get all the way down here into the end zone. Good blocking down the field there by Darcy Johnson, the tight end.
Now the challenge flag has been thrown by Wade Phillips. He's 1 for 1 in challenges.
Dallas is challenging that the runner stepped out of bounds at the 22-yard line. We'll review the play.
You could see Jacobs come close. We get another look at it. And that's really the questionable step. The call on the field, touchdown, we believe will stand, as Jacobs was able to stay in bounds. Meanwhile, it's a 74-yard touchdown reception, and it's the longest pass play this season for the Giants.
The runner never did step out of bounds. It is a touchdown. Dallas will be charged their first time out.
So it's 20-17 with the extra point to come. It's also the longest pass play allowed by the Cowboys this season, and a career-long play for Brandon Jacobs, either rushing or receiving. 74 yards on the first play, Troy, after the Cowboys had jumped back on top.
Yeah, and Brandon Jacobs, who came into this game with only 15 receptions, not a guy who gets a lot of balls thrown in his direction. And like I said, not a route to where you would really expect to have the outcome that they just had.
Well, you knew the New York Giants were going to try and reestablish Brandon Jacobs, but the goal was to get the ground game going for the Giants. Instead, it's through the air. A 74-yard touchdown reception for Brandon Jacobs, his longest play, his NFL career, and it's 21-17 Giants with 3.5 left in the third quarter. This is Ogletree on the return. Short kickoff, and Ogletree is brought down after an 18-yard return back to the touchdown.
Yeah, you mentioned Jay Ratliff. He gets double teamed, and they told us coming in that they were going to have to put 2 guys on Jay Ratliff to control him. Now here's what happened. You got Anthony Spencer, outside linebacker. He drops. He's in coverage. He has to pick up Brandon Jacobs once he comes out of the backfield, and he just gets outflanked. And the only guy who had a chance to make a play was Gerald Sensabaugh, and Darcy Johnson, the tight end, does a good job on him. Maybe got away with a hold right there, but nonetheless did a good job in blocking downfield to spring Jacobs for the touchdown.
The word, by the way, on Chris' knee is an injured knee. His return is doubtful. Kevin Booth was in on that touchdown. Now Romo throws high, but it's caught. Felix Jones fights his way for a Dallas first down. Bruce Johnson could not bring down Felix Jones before Felix, a second-year pro out of Arkansas, had 11 yards.
You know, we've seen Dallas a lot here in this game now. They've gone from a two-back set. Now they're going to two tight ends with Martellus Bennett and Jason Witten. And sometimes they'll put them each on the line as they are here. Sometimes they'll split them out and use Witten as a wide receiver. They've created some matchup problems for this Giants defense as to how to play Witten and what exactly they're going to do. Now this set here with two backs and two tight ends, heavy run formation for Dallas.
Toss to Felix Jones. He can run. He is their home run hitter, has great speed, gets 7. Kiwanuka on the stop. Handoff to Barber. C.C. Brown makes the play. And a loss of 1.
Yeah, C.C. Brown, he's, you know, that's really what he does best. I mean, he was brought in here to be an in-box safety. And when Kenny Phillips went down with the injury, he found himself oftentimes then in coverage, which is not one of his strengths. Ended up losing his job, but he's playing now because of the injury to Michael Johnson. But a big play there and a big third down here.
It's 3rd and 4. Romo pulls it back, now throws, and it's broken up. That was Boley, who got his hand on it before it got into the chest of Jason Witten.
It was an excellent route by Jason Witten, and Romo had time. They're in man coverage, and Witten's going to be trailed, so he's got to give a little stick to the outside. He creates the separation there on Rouse, but because of the play then by Michael Boley, the best athlete of the 3 linebackers, he lays out and is able to get a hand on it, and just an excellent play on his part.
That's why Boley was brought here. After 4 years with the Atlanta Falcons, supposed to be the cover linebackers, coming off knee surgery this season. Fair catch called for by Hickson. Handoff is to Bradshaw. And Ahmad Bradshaw, who's playing, as I mentioned, with both ankles sprained plus a cracked bone on the outside of his right foot, was inactive on Thanksgiving at Denver, picks up 7. And this is a Giants team that next will deal here at home with the Philadelphia Eagles, then go to the Washington Redskins. 3 straight divisional matchups for New York. 2nd and 3. Toss to Bradshaw, and the play is made by Spencer, who's getting better as the weeks go by. A loss of 2. Half a minute left in this 3rd quarter, and for the Giants, their touchdowns today been pretty quick. 4-play drive, 4-play drive, and then 1 play, a 74-yard touchdown catch and run by Brandon Jacobs.
And the touchdown catch by Jacobs, and you know, prior to that, they really, the Giants had not done much with their passing game.
Up at the top, that's Manningham, and underneath it's Kevin Boss. Pass is incomplete. Bobby Carpenter in coverage. And so it's 4th down, and the Dallas defense gets a stop with the Cowboys trailing by 4, opening seconds of the 4th quarter.
Until you saw Eli's face, and It looked like they got exactly what they wanted. They got Dallas in coverage, and Boss was one-on-one with Bobby Carpenter. I'm not sure Boss even was expecting the throw to come in his direction.
Eagles punts it. Creighton calls for the fair catch and hauls it in at the 37. Welcome back inside our booth. And Troy, if you and I were talking at the top of the day about the Giants needing to show some emotion, wondering how they would come at the Cowboys here today, I think they've been emotional, and right now they have a 4-point lead.
And we've seen their confidence grow as this game has moved along, and they've made some big plays. I mean, now they're sitting here with a nice lead. You know, Tony Romo has thrown the ball very well. The thing that the Giants have done very well defensively is shut down this running game for Dallas. And we talked about the success Dallas had the last time these two teams played. But Romo has not really gotten out of his rhythm. He's made some nice plays in this ball game.
Underneath, it's Jones, and he is brought down by Webster. Good play by Corey Webster as he got to Felix Jones and a loss of 4.
You know, they want to get the ball into Felix Jones's hands and see what he can do as one of the playmakers that they have. But Corey Webster comes up and is just able to make a play before Felix Jones can get anything going.
2nd down and 14. The running game for the Cowboys, 251 yards rushing. The first time these two teams met in Dallas week 2. Cowboys have only 47 yards on the ground, a 2.4 average. As we're in the 4th quarter now, 2nd and 14. Romo in trouble, throws as he finds a wide open Martellus Bennett. And Bennett is thrown down with a 1st down, a gain of 18. And Bennett can't get up. Martellus Bennett is fine over on the sideline. 1st down, Dallas at the Giants 48. Romo sets up, tries to set up anyway, a screen for Felix Jones. Nothing was there. Pass behind him, 2nd and 10.
You know, this offense is one of the best in the league in making big plays. That's one thing that the Giants have done a great job here in this game. They've not given up big plays in the passing game, only one so far.
Hand off to Felix Jones, and he goes backward. Barry Cofield made the play, a loss of 4.
Well, that's just the defensive front just dominating the offensive line there of Dallas. You see the push and the surge. I mean, it's all backwards. Felix Jones just had nowhere to go. I mean, for all the question marks that have surrounded this defensive front all season long, they have really done a job here in this game.
It's 3rd down and 14. You saw that quick shot of Antonio Pierce on IR with a bulging disc in his neck. Giants' 3rd game without him. Romo pumps, throws, and completes to Roy Williams. What a day. 2 touchdowns and now a completion to Williams on 3rd and 14 of 25 yards.
And O.C. Umenyiora, he's going to take an inside pass rush, which allows Romo then to get flushed outside to his left and buy himself some time. Right there you can see then the lane that is created for Tony Romo, and not bad coverage by Bruce Johnson. I mean, this is just a perfectly thrown pass right there, right on the left shoulder by Tony Romo.
That is for the Cowboys, their 2nd play today of 20 or more yards. They had 10 in that category on Thanksgiving against the Raiders. Little misdirection, handoff to Felix Jones, and he just has had nowhere to run. First guy there was Terrell Thomas. Cowboys are averaging under 2 yards per carry running the ball in this game, 2nd and 11. Romo had to reach for the snap. Passes behind Witten, who catches everything. Forward progress to the 24. 3rd down coming up. You know, if the questions were about the Dallas Cowboys in general, and maybe Tony Romo specifically when the calendar turns to December, 5-10 record, including the playoffs, 2 playoff losses, and a quarterback rating just over 72. Romo has thrown the ball extremely well here against the Giants, but his Cowboys trail by 4.
He's thrown it well, and he's thrown it with pressure. Even that last play, Matthias Kiwanuka put him on the ground.
Cowboys 8 of 13 on third down, and this pass for Choice is behind him. Choice was going up the field, and Romo was expecting something else.
This is something the Giants like to do from time to time. They'll start standing some guys up. They put Justin Tuck over the middle of the ball. You're going to see him right here in the middle, and then it's hard then for the offensive line to try to determine who's got who, and they bring pressure up inside, and Osi Umenyiora out in coverage. Typically, if you have time, you can take advantage of that with Felix Jones on Osi Umenyiora, but Romo didn't have time.
42-yard try by Folk. It was 1 for 1, and this one is yanked. Between two seasons of 07-08, 7 missed field goals for Nick Folk. He's missed 8 this season, 4 of 9 between 40 and 49 yards, and it's still a 4-point Giant lead with 10.5 to play. Play action from Manning, who just heaves it down the middle for Smith. Incomplete, and back to the field goal attempt by Nick Folk.
I mean, the snap was good, and then the hold by Matt McBriar was good. Perfect execution by those two. It was just a pull there by Nick Folk, and I mean, every point counts. That was a huge miss right there to keep this game at 4 points, and in a game like this, I mean, this could very well come down to a field goal by either team. And Nick Folk right now has got to be doubting himself.
Eli Manning hands to Ahmad Bradshaw. On 2nd and 10, he picks up 5. Brady James on the tackle. Eli Manning in this game 10 of 22, 216 yards, but that total's a lot better after that dump off pass to Brandon Jacobs for a 74-yard touchdown.
Yeah, and Eli Manning, he's had a lot of big games against this Dallas defense over the years. Of course, not all the same players, not all the same scheme, but I know coming into this game, Eli, you could tell in talking with him, very confident in knowing what he was going to get. I don't think there's anything Dallas is doing that's confusing him. They are getting some pressure on him, though.
It's 3rd down and 5. Manning with protection throws for Smith. And the two wrestle for the ball. It came out. The Cowboys are saying an incomplete pass, but the official didn't see it. Skandrick was fighting with Steve Smith. That ball hit the ground.
You see Steve Smith right there. He's trying to get everybody up to the line and snap the ball. You know, to come out right there, and you know, yeah, right there at the very end, and then it's just a matter of whether or not they had ruled the play was over. And in a game like this, Wade Phillips not going to challenge and risk losing a timeout.
Well, Dallas out of challenges. They're 1 for 2 on the day. And Ahmad Bradshaw cuts back and has it down inside the 10. Allen Ball on the tackle on a play that happened immediately on the heels of that completion to Steve Smith.
Well, that's a good point, Joe. They had already burned all their challenges, so Wade Phillips could not challenge it. And then the Giants get up and they're able to corral a Bradshaw at first, but then he cuts back and shows some of the speed that he has. We talked about him not playing last week and the loss at Denver, and you know, this guy is a real changeup for them and great speed and toughness, and he gives them an element that they don't get from Brandon Jacobs.
29 yards on that carry by Ahmad Bradshaw. Now it's Jacobs, and Brandon takes it to the 5. Or it'll be 2nd and goal.
You know, so that becomes huge now on that play to Steve Smith. You know, knowing that Wade Phillips no longer had any challenges, he likely would have challenged that.
And I'm not so sure they get an overturn on that call. I think you could make the case that Smith made the catch, secured it, going to the ground, was down on the ground, then the ball was ripped out after he was down by contact. But after that, Bradshaw carries it for 29. Now it's 2nd and goal. Blitz coming from Dallas, and the pass is low for Nix. Now it's 3rd and goal, and we go back to that completion to Steve Smith.
Yeah, he's just got to maintain possession through the catch, and then as he's going to the ground, which he's down there. And I agree. I think that even if they had challenged it, had been able to challenge it, that it's probably still ruled a completion. However, having said that, it would have been worth a challenge, and I'm pretty confident that if Wade Phillips had had a challenge, he would have used it.
It was a 25-yard completion on 3rd and 5. Then the Bradshaw run. Now it's 3rd and goal from the 5. Blitz from Dallas. Manning throws. Passes off the hands of Smith. He was open. Ball was delivered, and Steve Smith could not make the catch.
Well, this has been the problem. I mean, Steve Smith has had a heck of a game, but a perfectly thrown ball under pressure by Eli Manning, and you know, it's just a ball you got to catch. I mean, you take a 4-point lead and make it an 11-point game, a 2-possession game, and instead, assuming they make this field goal, it's a touchdown.
23-yard try by Tynes. Giants brought in 4 different kickers during the week. Apply some ping on Lawrence Tynes, who drills it. It's a 7-point game with under 7.5 to play. Felix Jones from outside the 5. Trying to get to the sideline. Penalty flags fly. Big return by Jones, but looks like this one's coming back.
During the return, holding number 57 of the receiving team. 10-yard penalty, first down.
That's Victor Butler. Starting at the 18-yard line, delayed handoff to Marion Barber. Ground game, which was so good in the first meeting, has not been a factor at all. The Giants have done a terrific job slowing down the Dallas ground game. Romo's in trouble, just throws it away. Giants want a flag, and so far there isn't one thrown. Pressure by Tuck.
Yeah, that was close because he was trying to get it out into the vicinity of tight end Jason Witten, but I think what they're trying to argue is whether the ball even got to the line of scrimmage. You know, Tuck is the one who's able to get the pressure on him there, but I'm not sure. You know, they're somewhat loose on that rule as to where the ball has to be.
Now they just threw the flag.
Yeah, that was a good 3-4 yards short of the line of scrimmage.
He got outside of the pocket. However, the ball did not get back to the line of scrimmage. 10-yard penalty, loss of down, 3rd down.
And I think that was a good call. I mean, as Bill Levy said, he clearly was outside the pocket, but you've got to get the ball. At one time you had to get the ball to the line of scrimmage. Now it's in the vicinity of the line of scrimmage, which is defined within a yard. But that was clearly short of that. A good 3 to 4 yards short of the line of scrimmage.
2 costly penalties for the Cowboys. The one on the kick return by Victor Butler. And now this intentional grounding. It's 3rd and 17.
And we've talked about it. It's a big 3rd down. Dallas has been good on 3rd downs, and they've converted some of these longer down and distances already today.
Underneath, it's Witten. He's to the 20. That's it. Thomas on the stop, a gain of 9, and it's 4th down for Dallas.
Well, Bill Sheridan, the defensive coordinator, a maligned guy around these parts for the last several weeks. He did a nice job there in the call, bringing a 4-man rush, playing coverage, force him to get the ball underneath and then come up and make a tackle. As I said, we've seen Dallas convert some of those 3rd and longs when they've gotten, you know, locked up in some man situations, but that was a good defensive series for the Giants.
McBriar hits a booming punt from just outside the 20. It's Hickson. Good coverage downfield. Hickson breaks out of it. Still going. Still going for the touchdown. There are no flags. The Giants this season have not had a punt return for a touchdown or a kick return for a touchdown. Hickson gets it. A 79-yard return after a 59-yard punt. For the Giants, last time they had a punt return for a touchdown 74 games ago. Chad Morton against Arizona in 05.
Well, Dominic Hickson does a great job initially of breaking the tackles, and you're going to see here Terrell Thomas does a good job there getting downfield, and then Derek Hagan, number 80, right there on Sam Hurd, which frees Hickson down that right sideline for the touchdown.
Tom Coughlin lost his gum. So pumped up. He's always talking and preaching about special teams play, and his group finally got one on a punt return for a big score.
Yeah, Tom Quinn, the special teams coach, he'll be smiling about that one. You know, well executed. Of course, when you're going to return a kick like that and a punt for a touchdown, it takes a lot of individual effort as well, and they got it from Hickson that initiated the run.
Here is Ogletree, little pop-up kickoff, and Ogletree gives the Cowboys decent starting field position at their own 38. Bear Pasco, who was just added to the active roster for the Giants, made the stop. It is getting awfully interesting now in the NFC East. Unless the Cowboys come back, there are the Eagles and the Cowboys, each at 8-4. The Cowboys won at Philadelphia earlier this season, and the two teams end the regular season at Dallas.
Well, you can bet that Miles Austin's going to be attracting a lot of attention, knowing that the Cowboys are now in a passing mode.
And Witten stepped out of bounds prior to the catch.
Boy, you don't see that very often from Jason Witten. He got over to the sidelines and just lost sight of where he was. He just kept running, and then when he makes the catch, he's out of bounds.
Witten 11 catches, 126 yards on the day. It's 2nd and 10 from the Dallas 38. There's Miles Austin with Webster across from him.
I got you.
Webster backs off. Pass to Austin. Gain of 9.
Well, they brought the blitz, and that's why Corey Webster, that's why he was playing him soft, just does not want to give up a big play right now. The Giants, they'll give up some underneath throws. They just don't want to see Dallas go down the field with a lot of time left on the clock and score a touchdown. Trying to be real careful right now in how often they decide to lock up one-on-one.
Dallas with 2 timeouts remaining. Here's Witten on 3rd down with his 12th catch. To the 43-yard line. CeCe Brown on the tackle. You mentioned Kenny Phillips, who had 2 interceptions the first time these two clubs met in Dallas. Week 2, went on IR with a knee injury week 3, and they miss him in the secondary. First down, Cowboys, under 5 to play. Quick throw, Witten again. He's to the 36.
And this is where I just think Tony Romo is really good. I mean, he's got a good understanding of knowing that he doesn't have to get it all on one throw, that he'll keep coming underneath to Witten as long as the Giants continue to give him that. And if they're able to get down the field and get a touchdown on this possession, they're going to put a whole lot of pressure back on the Giants.
Romo steps up, double move, and open was Roy Williams, but Romo missed him. It's exactly what Dallas needed, a quick strike. They had the play, and Romo overshot it.
Yeah, they had a double move on Bruce Johnson, and he goes down. And Romo just put a little too much on it.
It's now 3rd down. 2 downs for Dallas to pick up 3 yards.
And they're locking Bruce Johnson up again on Roy Williams.
Blitz coming. Cowboys pick it up. Pass is complete. Austin. Forward progress will not get the first down. They're going to mark him at the 35. Tollefson out there to make the play. A gain of only 1. It's 4th down.
Tollefson, he just shoots out. I mean, he takes off to get out there, and Miles Austin probably gets away with one there on Webster, but Tollefson right there to make the play. Good job by him.
4th down and 2. Romo underneath. It's Barber. Barber did not get it. Aaron Ross made the play for the Giants. And New York takes over on downs.
Romo knew he only needed a couple of yards to pick up the 1st down. Thought that he could come underneath to his check down to Marion Barber and get it with ease, but Barber had not gotten down the field far enough, and Ross comes up and just makes a good tackle on Marion Barber.
Aaron Ross, who missed 9 games with a hamstring injury, in his 3rd game back. He's played a lot of safety since coming back. An extra defensive back made the play, and now on 1st down, here's Jacobs. Cowboys have only 2 timeouts, and they're down by 14 points. And Antonio Pierce, who, when healthy, is the emotional leader right in the middle of this defense at middle linebacker for the Giants, on IR with a bulging disc in his neck. Now in the role of cheerleader, pumped up, and this defense for the Giants deserves a lot of credit for stepping up here today.
Yes, they do, in that defensive front. And Antonio Pierce, a lot of times a guy will go on IR and you won't see that guy around the team any longer. Tom Coughlin and Bill Sheridan, they wanted Antonio Pierce around because even though he's not playing, he still is an emotional leader for this team.
Hand off to Jacobs on 2nd and 8. He is to the 40. 3rd down coming up, and a timeout taken by Dallas. Manning rolls to his right, and down he goes in the arms of DeMarcus Ware. 2.5 to go. Cowboys spent their final timeout. Fiegels hits it. Creighton calls for the fair catch.
Going back to the fumble that they were able to get from Marion Barber, it just seemed like, once the Giants recovered that one and were able to get some points, that it really gave this Giants club a real emotional lift that carried them then throughout the rest of this ball game.
You see that, a team record 36 completions for Romo in this game. There's number 37 to Roy Williams. The problem today has not been Tony Romo. He has been criticized for his play once the calendar turns to December. He has 37 completions. That's 16 yards. He's up to 331 yards on the day, on the road, under pressure. And Romo can't get it away. And what a difference statistically from the first time these two teams met. That one is batted down and almost intercepted by Tuck. The first time these two teams met in Dallas, Cowboys rushed for 251 yards. Last Cowboys game they played was on Thanksgiving, rushed for 195 yards at home against Oakland. Today just 45 yards, 2 yards per carry.
Yeah, I know, in talking with Tom Coughlin, and I asked him, I said, how do you think your team's going to come out and respond in this ball game, in a game that you really have to win? And he said, I really don't know. I mean, I thought we were going to play great against Denver, and we didn't. I don't know. Well, they played awfully well.
Here's Witten with another catch. He's at a career high in receiving yards, and he's into Giants territory with the clock continuing to run. No timeouts remaining for Dallas.
And you just don't ever know what a victory like this will do for a club. I mean, a team that was playing with great confidence early in the season lost that, and they'll certainly regain a big part of that now after this win today.
Austin is forced out of bounds by Rouse for Jason Witten. 14 catches, 154 yards. Now they've given him 2 more on the official stat sheet. He's got 156. It's a career high either way. And with 1:28 remaining, Witten is 1 catch shy of his career high in a ball game, which is 15. First down at the 36. Quick throw to Creighton. And Creighton won't go down until he gets to the 22. Johnson and Rouse on the tackle, but the Cowboys, Troy, again, unless the miraculous happens, they're going to have to go home and hear more about their December record, and being just in December alone 5-9 over the last 2 years. Make it 3 years with 2 playoff losses. Here's a completion for a touchdown to Miles Austin. And if nothing else, they've made it interesting as they've closed it down to a 1-score game with an onside kick coming after the extra point attempt.
Well, Corey Webster just gets a little bit lazy here. He settles thinking that Miles Austin had settled in behind him, but instead Austin kept going and made for a relatively easy throw and catch, you know, for the touchdown. And you're right, Joe, now this comes down to an onside kick.
But the day for Tony Romo, all career highs. 41 completions, 55 attempts, and 391 yards. And he just got his 3rd touchdown pass, 2 to Roy Williams, this one to Austin.
Ball start, number 82 of the kicking team. 5-yard penalty, still to try.
And Jason Witten, who's done everything today, goes right to the official that threw the flag for that false start and complains, and Eli Manning's thinking, well, this one's not over yet.
No, it's not.
I keep saying barring the miraculous. It's exactly what the Dallas Cowboys are hoping for, is Folk will try and make it a 7-point game, which he does. So now it comes down to an onside kick. Again, no timeouts remain for the Dallas Cowboys. And if the Giants can take care of this kickoff coming from Dallas, then this ball game is over. .58 seconds remain. And it's time for Joe DeCamillis, the special teams coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys, to show what his group can do on an onside kick try.
Well, you'll see the Giants come out with their hands team. They'll put together, you know, their best group that they feel can recover the onside kick. And this gets pretty ugly. I mean, there's a lot of bodies flying around in these situations.
Remember, the rules change. Magic Johnson, who's at the stadium today, Giants Stadium, at least 4 players have to be on either side of the kicker, and at least 1 player on each side outside the numbers. And here comes the onside kick try for the Cowboys to have a chance. 2 kickers are out on the field for Dallas. Folk doesn't kick it. Beeler does. Pops it into the air. And the ball is recovered by who? Penalty flag. I don't know that the ball traveled 10 yards. Octavian comes out of the pile with a football. First guy to touch it was Sam Hurd. But that ball did not travel 10 yards. So they'll sort it out. Flag on the play. We welcome in a new audience.
To the kick before it went 10 yards by the kicking team. Ball would be spotted at the spot of the illegal touch. First down, New York Giants.
That's in essence the end of the ball game. If you're just joining us, here was the onside kick attempt by the rookie Beeler. Popped it up, but it did not travel 10 yards. The illegal touch by Sam Hurd. And so no retry on the onside kick. The Giants take over. Cowboys have no timeouts. And the Giants will go to 7-5, while the Dallas Cowboys will slide to 8-4.
Yeah, I just don't know that you can say enough for the job that the New York Giants did, coming in this type of game and, you know, really playing well.
The call for the illegal touch will stand. We got to look at it. It was closer than we initially thought, as Madison Hedgecock.
After reviewing the play, number 17 of the Cowboys touched the ball first. The ruling on the field is confirmed. First down, New York Giants.
I thought it clearly hit Sam Hurd's hand. It did, but it just got him on the fingertips instead of cleanly on the palm, and instead of hitting Madison Hedgecock first, which would wipe that away. It is an illegal touch. The Giants take over, and it's kneel down time. And Wade Phillips, who is now 78 and 53 in his head coaching career, but still staring at 0-4 in his career during the postseason. 0-1 with the Dallas Cowboys, coaching in his third season. We'll watch his club go to 8-4.
Well, we talked about it already, but it doesn't get any easier for Dallas as far as their schedule coming up. You've got San Diego next week. They're in the middle of a pretty good run and playing very well and trying to get a first round bye themselves. And the Saints, of course, they've got them coming up the following week, and a team that's trying to maintain home field advantage throughout with Minnesota. They got a tough road ahead here in the month of December.
Yeah, they're going to have to fight to stay on top in the NFC East or just make the playoffs at all as the schedule plays itself out. And the Giants get a game they needed. They are 7-5, and even though the New York Giants, time of possession, had the football just over 21 minutes in this game, they get a 7-point victory here at home over the Dallas Cowboys.